Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live 10 at 10.
Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump went toe-to-toe tonight in the most anticipated events in this year's presidential campaign to date. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us.
Clinton accused her rival of pushing a racist lie that President Obama was not born in the United States. Trump claimed credit for pushing the false notion that President Obama was not born in the U.S., saying that I think I did a good job. Valley News team and CBS reporter Craig Boswell has the latest.
Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton shook hands at the start of their first presidential debate, but the fireworks started during a discussion about the economy.
It would be the most extreme version, the biggest tax cuts for the top percent of the people in this country than we've ever had. I call it trumped up. Trickle down.
For 30 years you've been doing it, and now you're just starting to think of solutions.
Well, actually,
I will bring back jobs.
Trump and Clinton also took aim at each other's controversial issues.
When she releases her 33,000 emails that have been deleted, as soon as she releases them, I will release my tax returns.
It must be something really important, even terrible, that he's trying to hide.
This debate is likely to go down as one of the most watched television events in history, but for all of the hype, a recent poll suggests it won't change the minds of about 9 in 10 voters. At times, the attacks were personal.
You know, you've seen me. I've been all over the place. You decided to stay home, and that's okay.
I think Donald just criticized me for preparing for this debate. And yes, I did. I prepared to be president. And I think that's a good thing.
The candidates agreed on restricting gun purchases for people on do-not-fly lists, but differed on the controversial police tactic of stop and frisk. Their next debate is October 9th. Craig Boswell, CBS News, Hempstead, New York.
On October 4th, the running mates of the candidates, Tim Kaine and Mike Pence, will have a vice presidential debate. And as was indicated, Clinton and Trump will have their second debate on October 9th.
Now, during that debate, someone tweeted their views of it on the North Dakota Department of Health Twitter account. These screenshots show tweets directed at moderator Lester Holt, including this one: "Grow a pair, Lester," and "Lester needs to step up." Other tweets include "Facial expressions are priceless," "Trump's hair is weirder than usual," and "He makes no sense." Those tweets have since been deleted. We reached out to the Department of Health for answers. We're told an employee grabbed her work phone instead of her personal one for tweeting during the debate. Questions continue to surround the Refugee Resettlement program here in Fargo, and now at least one of your city leaders wants answers.
We already know the costs have been estimated by the county to be over $250,000 for last year alone, and we found out last year the costs to the local schools. Valley News Team's immigration and relocation reporter Bradford Eric has our report.
We've known the city of Fargo gets the lion's share by far of refugees coming to North Dakota. Factors such as an improved housing market, job availability, and availability of services play in. But it seems like Commissioner Dave Pepcorn is not quite convinced.
One is, how much are we spending as a city on refugees?
Who approves the refugees that are coming here? Right now we have no input as a city or county or anything, and so it's an unfunded mandate.
Commissioner Pepcorn told us last week he put the topic on the agenda, saying he expects the cost to be well into the millions of dollars. But there seems to be some dissenting opinions on the commission.
The cost is not that quantifiably significant relative to what the people might think.
Commissioner Strand previously served as a member of the school board in Fargo. Last November, as we brought you the impacts of resettlement to life in Fargo, that included the local schools.
What does it cost to educate, in particularly just the English language learners? That's about $2.8 million out of our general fund.
What remains now is to try to answer these questions and bring that information back to the next City Commission meeting. Outside City Hall in Fargo, Bradford Eric, Valley News Live.
We have included links to previous coverage of this continuing topic of debate, as well as a survey outlining your opinions on resettlement. Just click on this story at valleynewslive.com.
A grieving dad from Bemidji says there should be a better way of checking the credibility of those using websites to raise money. His teenage daughter died in a crash almost a year ago, and a GoFundMe page was set up to pay for funeral expenses. Tens of thousands of dollars later, he's figured out the money is not going to the funeral home. That dad says he's working with GoFundMe and local officials to get the account figured out. The Better Business Bureau says while most sites are legit, not all the people posting on them are.
I'm really tech savvy as far as computers and everything go, but in the end, it really boils down to discernment. You kind of have to read. You kind of have to read it and check it out, and even then, you can't be totally sure unless you know what you're giving to.
A representative from GoFundMe says fraud accounts are very rare, but if it happens, they work with the family to get them their money. And if that doesn't work, GoFundMe will make a donation to the family.
Authorities are warning you to be cautious around train tracks. A man was treated for minor injuries today after the semi he was driving was hit by a train. It happened near Dwight, North Dakota. Investigators say 30-year-old Mohammed Hussein was heading east on County Road 10. Hussein saw the train as he approached the railroad crossing, but couldn't stop in time before the semi was hit. Officials say it's nearly impossible for trains to make sudden stops.
We know it's harvest. We know people are tired when they're running long hours, but you see tracks, think train. The physics of a train, we cannot stop.
The train conductor tried but could not stop before the collision. There is damage to the train. At least one of the train cars derailed. With children back in school, drivers need to pay extra attention when it comes to driving in school zones.
A concerned Grand Forks mom contacted our whistleblower hotline saying drivers are not paying enough attention near Winship Elementary School. Valley News Team's Giovanna Simic has our story.
There's a school down the road. We have little ones that cruise all the way down here. No one's stopping in the intersections. No one's stopping for the stop signs. It says 20. Let's do 20.
Every day, Tony Halsam takes her son to school. She says drivers have been going at least 15 miles per hour over the speed limit in the school zone.
As a parent, I just don't want to see a child get hurt.
One boy escaped injury this past Thursday after being hit by a car near Discovery Elementary while riding his bike. Halsam says she would like the city to put up more stop signs and for people to be more vigilant when driving.
They don't stop, they don't slow down, they don't, when they get up to the stop signs, when they get up to the intersections, they're just going through.
Winship being a kind of more of a congested street area, you have to do a bit more of your surroundings because there's cars everywhere, so you have to be a bit more cautious in that area.
Grand Forks police say they haven't had a problem with drivers not obeying crosswalk rules, but they want to remind drivers to get rid of all distractions.
They're all focused on I need to go to work, I need to go to work, but they should also focus on, well, anybody that's walking around is probably going to be a student trying to go to school, so they have to be aware of that.
And Halsam has this message for everyone.
Put them down. Stop texting while you're driving. This is not how to drive.
In Grand Forks, Giovanna Simic, Valley News Live.
Grand Forks police say do extra patrols before and after school to make sure drivers are paying attention to pedestrians.
A juvenile male has been arrested for being in possession of a stolen vehicle. Fargo police say they responded to the Oak Grove Park and Mickelson Field on Saturday where vehicles were chasing each other. When they arrived, they found abandoned minivan that crashed into a tree. The owner allowed officers to search the vehicle, and they found a backpack that contained information leading officers to the juvenile.
Emergency responders are reminding you to have life jackets while waterfowl hunting. A boat capsized over the weekend at Christopherson Lake, north of Elizabeth, Minnesota. 2 adults and 2 minors were in the water without life jackets. One of the minors was able to get to shore by hanging onto the boat's gas tank. A woman nearby swam life jackets to the other 3 people, and all 4 were eventually rescued. The people were reportedly in the water for almost an hour and a half. One person was charged with boating while under the influence. North Dakota Game and Fish say capsizing and falling overboard from small boats are the most common types of deadly boating accidents for hunters.
Maple Valley school voters narrowly said no back in April, and again, they say no by the slimmest of margins. The $14.3 million bond issue failed because it didn't get the 60% approval needed. You can see how close it is, 493 yes, 332 no. That's 59.76% in favor. The vote was held last Tuesday, but results weren't finalized until tonight.